All right, everyone. Here I am once again. It's Miss G, and I'm in Rome, Italy. I am standing in front of perhaps one of the most famous buildings in the world. And I'm a nerd because I've got the camera situated on top of a garbage can, and there are many tourists walking around me, once again going, this woman is just a little whacked, but it's okay. It's okay. I will suffer the embarrassment for you. This building represents architecture and engineering, and in particular, in your textbook on page 366, you actually have a picture of it right here. Now in the picture, you will notice in the text, but that there are no people standing around. There's just one woman. This is not the case today. This is in the middle of a plaza. There are hundreds of tourists, and of course, there's some pretty rowdy teenagers close by who are, I think, about ready to spray some water on me because they're playing some games around, and I, of course, am giving them my little teacher eye, but it's not working too well. Let's get back to this building that I am standing in front of. This building is really a masterpiece, and it's a miracle because, number one, the original construction started in about 27 BCE, and it's one of the very few buildings that are just still standing today, with very few cracks. We really can get a sense, instead of looking at the rubble of ancient remains, this building is pretty much exactly as it was when it was built. Now, it's gone through a series of changes as time has progressed, and it's my understanding there was a fire, and so it's gone through a series of changes. However, what remains is this dome that we are going to take a look in just a minute, and this dome is what has influenced so many buildings, particularly our Capitol building. It has pillars in front of it, and right on top of my head is a pediment. There isn't any carvings, there aren't any carvings or anything, but basically what I'm standing in front of, it kind of looks like a Greek building. We've got the columns, we've got the pediments. However, if you walk around this building, you're just going to notice something very, very different. Instead of granite, it was built from bricks, thousands and thousands and thousands of bricks that were put together with cement. Now, they figured out a way to form a mixture, and really this was the beginning of the use of cement. It is unbelievable to think that this was built without computers, without electricity. In fact, the columns that are behind me, there are 16 of them, and they're massive. The material came from Egypt. The granite came from Egypt. They had to move these pillars all the way here and then set them up all in a row, so that they could hold this building together. It's just unbelievable to think about this. And then I guess the other thing you have to think about is the fact that, well, who built this? You know, like everything else, sometimes the people suffered building this, and many slaves actually built this amazing building. I am standing in front of the Pantheon, and in just a minute we are going to go inside. But if I can move this just a little bit, the camera, so that you can see behind me is actually an Egyptian obelisk, and this obelisk was dedicated to the Egyptian god Isis. And it is important to understand that this building, the Pantheon, was actually built to honor all of the gods. All of the gods. Now, as you know, the Romans switched the Greek gods to their own. The only thing they did really was change the name of the gods. And instead of focusing on the stories of these gods, they focused primarily on honoring them and paying tribute to them. This was their religion. And so they would come here in front of this building to honor them. They would leave things behind. If they were suffering from some kind of an ailment, such as a foot injury or something like that, they would leave a little trinket in the shape of what it was they wanted to heal and leave it right in front of these very steps. It was important to honor all of the gods, and everyone was accepted, which is why there's an Egyptian obelisk here, because it was okay if you wanted to honor that god or the numerous gods that this building paid tribute to, as long as you paid your taxes. So we are now going to take a closer look inside of this building, and I hope you enjoy.